So, nothing that interesting happened this weekend, huh, guys?
Yeah, apparently.
Crazy out there.
No major news.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. I was struggling to find some news for the news section.
Yeah. What a time to be alive. Nothing going on. Just a nice, quiet July weekend.
Yep.
Big movie release. Simple times.
Yeah.
Simple times. Speaking of simple times, we got a lot of good feedback in the video about me talking about going back to simpler times. Somebody called me an idiot, but most of it was positive.
The short.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
That's
some
cool.
people were like, yeah. Some people were like, there was some funny ones.
I think I was called an idiot the last I checked. Oh, God, sorry. Oh, excuse me. My allergies, man. Whew. They've been kicking.
Comes with the territory.
What, allergies or being called an idiot on the internet?
No, the more popularity and appeal you have, the more haters you're also going to have.
Oh, yeah. Bring on the hate, baby. I don't give a fuck.
They hate us.
For your allergies, you should get that thing that was on that investment show, whatever, where people pitch their ideas.
Shark Tank?
Maybe. It's like a thing you put on your nostrils that covers them, but you can still breathe, but it stops the...
It's like an air filter for your nose?
Like directly on your nose. But your nose is an air filter for your nose. That's the thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It ain't enough, obviously.
I actually got to look into that nose air filter. I will look that up.
It's a legit thing. They were offering big money for it.
I believe it.
Looked pretty sick.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
So, episode 96, boys. We're almost there. Almost at 100. I was thinking, actually, what are we going to do for 100? We got to do something cool. Maybe instead of, like, talking about a movie, we do, like,
I'll be in California.
Maybe we do, like, our favorite movies we've watched discussion or something. Like a recap. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got to do something special. Maybe we could get a big guest on. I don't know.
That would be cool.
Gotta reach out to my contacts. I have no contacts.
That'd be fun too.
What have you guys been up to? How's everybody doing?
Been pretty good. Just started watching The Wire with C. So that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's definitely a journey.
She liking it so far?
Yeah.
Nice. How could you not?
The Wire is like, The Wire is it's not an easy watch. I mean, it's like 100% plot, nonstop, shoved down your throat. So it's like kind of intense. You got to really pay attention, but it's good.
Yeah.
What did you just point at?
I was just showcasing our fine merch that you could find over at harshlanguage.tv, along with all of our links and ways to get in touch with us if you're interested. Right. Yeah. Well, that's cool. It is. You're right about that show.
We need to no.
What's going on, Marvin?
Just can't get it together.
You're good.
We need to get that fitted.
Oh yeah. I put it on there. The one with the brim with the colored, the two colored one.
I think that's a snapback.
I'll have to revisit it. I think maybe there's some new options out there. We got to look back. Maybe we could do another special design or something. But
yeah,
sure.
That's cool. What have you been working on, Dusty? You been watching stuff or no? Still moving, practicing moving.
Yeah, just getting ready for the move and yeah.
Is it practicing moving?
Yeah.
Moving rehearsal.
Yeah, dry runs,
Yeah.
Can't fuck it up.
Yeah. Watching the regular shows.
Nice. You gave up on the
hair,
acolyte?
Dan. Hair.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tie this motherfucker's hands behind his back.
Yeah, just like this. I'll do the show.
Yeah.
Put him in a straight jacket.
I'll just keep my hands in my pockets like this.
Put him in a straight jacket. That would be hilarious.
You gave up on the acolyte?
I did,
Me?
yes. But I
Dusty.
do watch, I watch people review, I'll still watch, I watch Ryan Ayers Easter eggs and Star Wars theories breakdown.
Let me tell you
He
something.
took a lot of guff. He took a lot of guff for his take on the acolyte.
Because he's he's like literally like...
He's one of the oldest, most notable lore guys in YouTube for Star Wars.
Ryan Airy?
No.
Oh,
no.
no.
Star Wars Theory.
Yes, but he's got weird fucking opinions about certain things too. Yes, but he doesn't know the stuff well. But like Ryan Airy specifically, like that channel, Screen Crush, he's like Captain America at the end of Endgame, like fucking strapping his fucking shield tight and like ready to take on Thanos' army by himself, just standing in defense of this show and like calling it good while everybody else is being like, dude, it's fucking terrible. Like, what are you talking about? So like, while you have you have like rage bait. I mean, I guess that is rage bait. You have like the opposite of that, where it's like, no, it's good. You're just not getting it. It's good.
Yeah, simping.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Simping, damn.
It's
crazy. Simping for the show.
The last episode was so bad. Oh, God, it was so bad.
How can it get worse?
It actually, I don't think could, to be honest. I mean, maybe the only thing
rock bottom.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would make the show worse is if it was like dealing with legacy characters and like completely like retconning a bunch of shit and like
there's news that they're gonna do a second season and she's going to get to play with a young Palpatine and Plagueis.
Maybe, I don't know. Hope not.
That's the rumor.
Hope that's not the case. But so you haven't watched anything else really? Anything of interest?
No. House of the Dragons tonight. I have not watched it yet.
Nice.
Will after the show.
Oh yeah.
Mayor of Kingstown, still pretty good. Actually, getting a little heated.
Ooh, yeah. I can't wait to start watching that. I finally took a major step in my show watching shortage this week, and I finished the final season of Sweet Tooth on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
I think last week I told you guys I had started it.
Yep.
But I finally finished it. That is a really good show. Very like underrated, I feel like, because I don't see anybody talking about it anywhere. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just me not seeing it, but it's a very good show. I cried a lot in the finale. Man, it was a lot of tears were shed. But that was good. It's really all I watched, obviously. The movie we're here to talk about, I went to see Longlegs on Friday in theaters. Fun theater experience. I miss going to the movies, but like I'm always reminded like I would just rather stay home, but it's cool. The fucking theater was freezing, dude. Freezing.
Yeah, I took a flannel for that reason. That's why when I sent you guys that picture, I had a flannel in fucking Vegas.
I don't know if it's this theater specific. Like theaters are always like somewhat chilly, but like this one in particular, people must be aware of it because they go all the time. Because there were people with blankets and fucking, they were in like full sweatsuits and hoodies, and I was sitting there with like a shorts and t-shirt. I was like,
"Oh, you're fucked." Yeah.
I was so fucking cold. Me and all my friends, we walked out. We were just like, "Oh, fucking
yeah."
Like we just went to the Arctic hike.
My theater experience, we almost fucked up because we didn't realize, for one, that a lot of people were going to go see this. So we had to kind of shop around to get tickets.
You didn't think the hype machine was going to work, Marvin?
I didn't.
I
didn't.
Did well.
We ended up getting tickets, though, not to AMC.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to get reclining seats, sadly.
Rip.
We ended up at one of the hotel casinos here, Aliante. It was cool, though.
But you did get a gigantic bag of popcorn.
Yes.
Can I post that? Do you mind if I post that on like Twitter?
Yeah, you can put it. Yeah, put it or something. Do whatever with it. That's fine.
One of us should post.
So we got like the big. We got the large or whatever.
It's like bigger than you.
Yeah. So we got the large, and the cool thing about it is you can get like a refill, right? So after the show, we go to get a refill, and they're like, "Hey, would you just want a bag?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, why not?" So yeah, I got a big ass bag of popcorn. Yeah. Haven't even opened it yet, though. Don't even know.
It's gotta be stale.
I don't think they buttered it the same way.
Marvin, it's like
you could fill up like 3 of those popcorn tins that you could buy on the holidays with that bag they gave you.
You should package it up and sling that shit on the street. Just start fucking, just divvy it out.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
But another terrible thing is how far we had to walk to. Like, it was in the last theater
in the building,
whatever room in the building.
Yeah.
Far as hell. Last one. It was I was like, man, this is.
Were there a lot of people in your theater?
Yeah. At first it wasn't. I was like, huh, why were the seats taken online? And then they started to show up.
Yeah, mine was a packed house, which is nice.
Trailers?
Honestly,
actually,
I turned my fucking brain off because after like the 30th minute of trailers, I was like, Jesus Christ, start the movie already. They showed the trailer for that new horror movie, The Heretic, the one with Hugh Grant that Marvin posted the trailer for a couple of days ago.
Yep.
That looks all right.
Looks good.
The chick from Yellow Jackets is in it. She plays the one who plays the younger version of the hell's her name? The crazy one. Like the rocker fucking drug addict girl.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And you never caught up with that, huh?
Nope.
Yeah.
I did not. I still have 2 episodes of Superman and Lois, but I'm waiting on it for the new one to come out. That way I don't
okay.
watch it. And then previously on Superman, I'll just know because I just watched it.
Sophie Thatcher, by the way, who I'm talking about. She plays the younger version of Juliette Lewis. But anyhow, there was that. There's like a lot of neon trailers from neon movies because Longlegs is put out by Neon. Honestly,
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't remember most of the trailers that we saw other than that one. There was one movie that looked pretty interesting. I can't remember anything about it, but
I saw a couple interesting ones. I don't remember the names. One was about like some Russian drug lord guy that like married some New York girl.
That was cool.
That one actually looks interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know, honestly.
No.
It was so many trailers, it was impossible. I did see that Coppola guy, whatever, his trailer was pretty good actually. For his like masterpiece movie or whatever.
Megalopolis, yeah.
Yeah, that one actually looked.
They didn't show that.
A million people in the trailer.
We saw like all
in the cast,
all indie horror movie like trailers. There was one for this movie with G.I. Jane, where she's like, it's like supposedly like a body horror movie, which I hadn't heard of. That's coming out.
Oh,
with Demi Moore.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, they said body horror, and I was just like, nope, don't body horror. I'm over it. Can't be watching that shit no more. I'm over it. I can't be having no more of that shit. It's over.
Yep.
What
was that guy who directed that?
Cronenberg.
Yeah, Cronenberg ruined it. Thanks,
Cronenberg ruined it for us. This one's called, what the fuck is it called? Substance, I think it is, maybe? I don't know. It looked weird. It looked interesting. I don't know. There were really no trailers that I thought were interesting. But I did see, not at the theater, but I did see the trailer for Captain America Brave New World. What did you think of that? What did you guys think?
Looks great.
Yeah, you said it looked great.
It looks really good.
A little surprised.
Yeah, you actually said you're more looking forward to this than Deadpool and Wolverine. I think 100%. Was what the quote was. I was a little surprised with that. It does look good, but...
You guys think it looks good, though? I feel like the trailer looked so, like, fucking meh. It's... I don't know what... Something was weird about it. I don't know what it is. I can't quite, like, put my finger on it. Like, maybe I'm racist, like the internet says. Everybody who doesn't like Anthony Mackie's racist, but... I like Anthony Mackie. It's just something about the way the trailer is edited and the way these movies have been looking. It seems like the trend now, when it's not being called like woke, people are like shitting on like the cinematography and like the editing and color grading of these Marvel movies. And like, they're right. The movies look ugly. Like Deadpool looks fucking ugly. It doesn't look like a fucking movie. It just looks like a thing that was produced in a factory. And this looks the same way.
Actually, yeah, I do. It has that same look as
yeah, it's just bland.
What was the other thing we watched recently? It was like that spy thriller show with
spy thriller
Samuel
show
Jackson.
Oh,
yeah.
What
was that?
Yeah,
what show was that?
The Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they all look like. They look bland. Like the color looks bad.
Very cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is. And this looks kind of the same to me. I don't know. The trailer just like kind of didn't do it for me. I'm also just like not really honestly excited about Marvel anymore. I don't think we've talked a lot about it. Because like they've inundated us with fucking stuff, and it hasn't been anything of substance since it was last of substance. And now I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably see it, and I'm sure it'll be like enjoyable at least a little bit. But like, I kind of just don't care. I saw some funny stuff. Somebody on Twitter was like, Disney really ran out of ideas? Hulk is red now, and it's like
that had to be a troll.
It had to have been like
even I know about the Red Hulk.
Okay, so that was funny. Yeah. I don't know. You're interested in seeing it?
Also, the people complaining about the Israeli superhero that's.
Well, they kept her out of the trailer. I think she's going to derail that movie. I guarantee it. I bet you. If she's in it. I don't know if it's true or not. But that's
this?
There's an Israeli Marvel character.
Yeah, she's in it. She's Colbert or something. It's some weird hyphenated namer.
She's basically Shira Haas, I think, is playing her. Her name is Sabra, and anyhow, she's like an Israeli superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Basically like Israeli Captain America, I guess. And
all the pro-Palestine people are really up in arms about that one, Marvin.
Yeah, one here.
Yeah,
I'm not up in arms about it, but I think like very, very poor taste to put in a.
I'm not saying you.
No, I'm saying I am. I think it's stupid. I think it's very distasteful to put a Israeli character in a film at a time when like the country the character represents is like committing genocide, like clear and objective genocide on another people's. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just whatever. It's par for the course. Izzy, that pussy must be ridiculous, boy, because we fucking do everything that they want. Shit is crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But I won't get into that stuff. Busted. Yeah, but I think that alone, I think, could like tank this movie. But it just didn't look interesting to me. Like I kind of don't like. I think people were saying like, "Oh, we got our first view of what is the fucking Eternal sticking out, Bahamut or something like that." No, Baphomet's the fucking Satanist the demon statue. Baphomet. What is it? It's something along those lines. But we see the statue sticking out, and it's like, all right. Like I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier, the show was good. I think it was a cool concept to show him like grappling with the fact of like, how do I, as a black man in America, take on the title of Captain America?
Well, I think that's what this movie is also about. He's still struggling with it because you see in the trailer alone. I mean, he says you're not Steve Rogers, so he's still obviously going to be battling with it. Yeah, the Red Hulk storyline is why I think it's interesting, and I'll give it a whirl. I don't think it's going to be some of the best stuff that Marvel's ever done, but I don't know. I think it could be interesting if they do it correctly. Because I thought Falcon and the Winter Soldier was good up until that last episode where he gives his like speech about like coming together and like all that lame shit. Yeah, but like the idea that this is a character grappling with like a two-pronged thing and within himself is like living up to Steve Rogers, like for one. And also representing a country that you don't feel has like helped, like, you know, been a positive force for you and your, you know, in your life. Like it was just a cool concept. And then they brought in the other guy. What's his name? Can't remember his name. The first super soldier, basically, from Vietnam. Can't remember his name. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about
the older guy, Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
That was like a cool concept because it was like exploring like that thing. And then also that show happened to come out, I think, around the time of like the George Floyd stuff. So it like, I'm sure that was an accident, but it like resonated like at the right time. So I don't know. I just think that's an interesting story to do and tell. And it's like, you know, he obviously learns like, how do you live up to the legacy of Steve Rogers? You don't, because you're not Steve Rogers and you can't be Steve Rogers. Yeah. So just be your own person. He gave you the shield for a reason. So do it. And that's cool. I just don't know like where this is. The problem with the Marvel stuff is like I don't know. They just seem like directionless as to like where they're going. Like we have multiverse stuff over here.
It feels like, I don't know.
And I had called
like he's stepping into the mantle of Steve Rogers and where he's like, well, if you want me to, you know, be the icon of America, what happens when I disagree with what you think I should do? You know?
Which is a very interesting concept. And, you know, people might be visually detached because it's now Harrison Ford and not What's his name? Who played him? Who died? I can't remember the actor's name.
It was Pullman.
God, we're so bad with
terrible
names.
with names.
You're making me bad with names. William Hurt.
William Hurt. Yeah.
So people might be visually detached, but like Thunderbolt Ross has been a pervasive character throughout the MCU at this point. Like, and he's slowly been rising the ranks. The last time we saw him, he's the one who started the fucking the Wachovia Accords. Like, it was his whole thing to like control the Avengers, which separated them. He also tried to kill the Hulk in the very first Marvel movie. And now he's like obviously risen to become a president, or he's running for president. And yeah, so we'll see. But Thunderbolt Ross has like his own motivations. He's not like a hero character by any means, but he's not a villain either. So I don't know. Be interesting. Juan Carlo Esposito's in it. He's playing like a mystery villain.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know who he could be playing. But I don't know. Just overall.
Is he just typecast as villain and everything now?
Seems like it, yeah. And it's like every time it's like
even in that video game, what was it?
I think it was
whatever. It was a villain.
It was a Far Cry game, wasn't it?
Far Cry, yeah.
And it's always just like be Gus.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's a good typecast to have. I mean,
could be worse for sure.
I'd be typecast as a villain for a Marvel movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That trailer just looked a little bit, a little lackluster to me. But I've been feeling the same way about like Deadpool and Wolverine as well. Like, you know, Deadpool, like it's gonna be funny because it's like a Deadpool movie. But then and you got it's like Hugh Jackman coming back to play the role, so you got that going for it. Oh, he's in the yellow suit, classic. That's cool. But then it's like also you watch the trailer and you're like, man, it just looks fucking bland. It looks visually, like color wise, it's like desaturated. There's like the editing seems weird. It just feels so weird. And it might have to do with the fact that like it's been reported a lot that like Marvel makes their movies like very it's very procedural for them. Like and it is very cookie cutter. It's the way that they've been able to do the amount of output that they've had, especially with the shows. But it's definitely a stark contrast from the first couple of phases when like they were actual films and they looked while they intermingled and like intertwined with one another story-wise, they all felt independent of one another visually and by tone.
They had their own
It's when they had a smaller team and they hadn't exploded yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's directing this Brave New World?
Shit, I don't even know. Thomas Tomakin. Oh no, that's something completely else.
Julius Ona.
Yeah, don't know who that is.
Oh, it's a black dude. Nice. Cloverfield Paradox. What else?
Terrible movie. Don't know anything he's done.
That's pretty much it.
So, like, what's going on here? This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. Does Marvel went from being like the fucking upper echelon of like who's who of like directors and writers and actors, and now they're just like, hey, here's this random fucking nobody directing a movie. It's like, no offense to the guy, like maybe could be a banger, but
a lot has happened since phase one.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to get directors that have their own distinct style, like or something. Like
again,
it seems like they just got this random black dude just as a fucking placeholder NPC director, just to
because
say, hey, black guy director.
Sam Raimi could have already made a great Blade movie.
But you know what this tells me? This tells me that there isn't going to be much of the director in the movie. That's the scary part. Because you said they could have gotten probably me to direct it. Yeah. You could have just it just needs somebody there to sit in a chair and be like, hey,
the body.
Right. So that's definitely scary to me. And like, you know, Dusty just mentioned Sam Raimi. Like, you know, I didn't think the movie was that great, but to his credit, like that movie, Doctor Strange, the sequel, Multiverse of Madness, it like had very like Sam Raimi vibe. So his style was like imprinted all over that movie. And that's
all I want.
Yeah, that's exceedingly rare now with their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All their shows.
If I want to just do the story myself, like, or like picture it a certain way, I'll just read the comic books and just do everything that way. Like,
yeah.
But if I want, movies are good because directors give it their own style, like their own feel.
Yeah. I mean, they should be storyboarding because they're trying to create a cohesive universe. But while they're storyboarding based on stories they've taken from the actual comics that are literally storyboarded, they should give some of that control to the director. Like, hey, here's a storyboard. This is what we like. This is the direction. This is where we need it to end. But you can take whatever, liberties you think are necessary to make it your own and make it good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And famously, like, some directors haven't wanted to work with Marvel because of their process, Edgar Wright, like, famously backed out of, like, he basically came up with the concept of the Ant-Man film and then, like, backed out of it because, he just didn't like the fact that there wasn't a lot of autonomy over it. So I get it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad movie, but the trailer just didn't really leave me really that interested, to be perfectly honest. It just kind of felt like meh to me, but it is what it is. We'll see.
What about the Agatha All Along trailer? Did you watch that?
I haven't even watched it. I totally don't give a fuck. Like, the fact that they're just, like, making a show because, like, a popular song came off out of one of their shows. It's just so.
No, I
that's
think
like the epitome. No.
That.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the hype around certain things can influence something to be created like that. Like, if it's that powerful, and the thing is, they make these decisions and then it's like, well, the moment's passed now. You're kind of late. Like, you can't make a movie about a song that's probably not even on anyone's radar anymore.
Yeah.
We've also talked about the Marvel trying to get into the dark arts side of the Marvel universe, and they still haven't really done it yet. And this is an actual opening to do it, demons and
we'll see.
The devil and
well, we had, what's
stuff,
the name?
So.
What was that short film?
Midnight by whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Werewolf by Midnight, Werewolf by Night. Yeah. I just, like, they're just so meaningless at this point. I'm, like, forgetting everything they've done. Werewolf by Night.
That one was pretty good.
We're a film podcast, that was, like, by the way, everybody. Who's that actor? Who's this person? What's this?
It's whatever. We're normal guys. We're not fucking.
I know. My memory's shot.
I'm actually looking forward to it a little bit, though, because I'll watch anything that Aubrey Plaza's in. I think she's hilarious. So.
But like,
she's in it. That's cool.
Who cares? Is my point. That's my thing. Is like
I'm not watching it because it's Marvel. I'm watching it because Aubrey Plaza's in it. There's a couple other good actresses that I'm like, yeah,
right. But
so you're simping.
Here's the problem, right? Is that they have gotten to a point where they've realized, like, hey, we don't even need to make like shit that connects. People are just gonna watch it because they think it connects to the next thing, and that, I think, has really been a brainworm and like totally removed any type of responsibility to like make something fucking really good, because it's like, well, people are gonna watch it anyway, so it's like, who fucking cares?
They do think that, but I think the masses aren't gonna watch everything.
No. Did you guys see the thing I sent you, that streamer like statistic? I sent it like a couple weeks ago. It was like statistics about like what are the most watched things, and I think cable TV is still the most watched, which I'm surprised about.
I'm not entirely surprised about it because businesses have to. They're probably the biggest buyer of cable than anybody.
Yeah, Disney Plus was the lowest though, so it's like people already are not watching their shit, and like, you know, all the stuff that everybody's complaining about with Disney, it's all just like, it's all been to like really just prop up their streaming service at the expense of a lot of their output, and that's hurting them at this point. And I think it's time for them to sort of retool and rework their strategy, because like what's happening isn't working. They can't just prop up like a streaming service, because every other company has streaming services, solely on Star Wars and Marvel, especially when those two properties currently are not putting out like really quality things, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's really, at the end of the day, what they have going for them. They have like their legacy stuff, which is like all the old like Disney movies, you know, Aladdin and all those, and Marvel and Star Wars, two of the biggest IPs on the planet. It's like, they're fucking playing with house money right now, and it's like slowly but surely people starting to see like, I don't think so. And movies like this movie, Longlegs, and others, Oppenheimer, Barbie, all things we keep talking about, like are theaters dead? No, it's just people want to see like something new, something different.
Inside Out 2 is at $1.35 billion.
I don't know if you saw it.
All the way.
Nick commented on our video, on our short, talking about that, and he said he took his 2 daughters to see it. He said he had to go to like 4 different theaters. He couldn't even like get in to see it.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Banger.
Marvin, real quick, is your phone near you? Whenever you talk, you got like a little bit of feedback in the mic.
No.
Talk?
Talking.
Very slight. I don't know. Maybe you got to unplug your mic, but it's not a big deal. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
So Marvin, you don't have like, there's not like a couple actors or actresses that you're like, I'll see whatever they're in, no matter what. Like you could, like Denzel's a guy, like I'll watch, and it doesn't matter what he's in, I'll watch a fucking Denzel movie. Like I don't give a fuck.
Actors, not really. I'm not big on actors. Like there's some directors like Christopher Nolan that I will watch like anything he does, but actors I'm not too attached to.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really too attached to actors like that.
Speaking, while we're on the topic of trailers and Denzel, did you guys see the trailer for Gladiator 2?
Why?
I've heard talks.
I brought it up. Doesn't look like, I don't know. It's definitely not going to be anywhere near as good as the first one.
No, this is going to be like a fucking...
I don't have high hopes anyways, but I will watch it anyways because Denzel's in it.
Listen, a long time ago.
Yeah, true.
In a time before, in the before times, before when you were a young little tyke, Marvin, there was a time when movies would go straight to DVD. This looks like one of those movies.
I remember those times.
This would be a straight to DVD movie. This is a movie, if you even look at the thumbnail of it on IMDb, this looks like a movie that was made to be aired on like the History Channel. Like it looks so fucking bad.
The thumbnail does look bad.
And the trailer was terrible. Denzel looks terrible in it. Like, what's going on with this movie? And there's, of course, the internet chatter where it's like people being like, this looks stupid. This looks bad. And everybody's like, you're fucking racist because it's a black guy in Roman times. You're just mad. It's like, no, I just genuinely think it looks bad. But like, the funny part is Denzel's just being Denzel. It's like, he's literally the character from Training Day, but it just in Rome. And it's so weird. And then I think
that's
there's like
awesome.
Yeah, whatever. And then I think there's like a Kanye song that's playing over the trailer for no reason.
People are mad about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that, though.
I know. Ridley Scott has done it before.
Didn't Woman King have like a rap song or some shit? Like, I mean, they do that. That's not a big deal.
It can be done properly, but sometimes it's a little cringe.
Listen, all I'm going to say is this. I don't care about any of that stuff. It just genuinely looks terrible. Also, it needs to be said, you guys were making fun of me last week because I don't like period pieces. Well, Gladiator happens to be not only arguably one of the best movies ever made, but it's for sure up there with one of the best period piece movies ever made. And like, you're making a sequel. I need
to watch it.
Oh God, have you not seen it?
It's crazy because I actually love this era of like, like when they make movies about this era or whatever.
Find themselves thinking about the Roman Empire.
I saw, what's that fucking show? It was an HBO show, I think, or maybe it was Stars. I think it was Stars. It was, what is that show, dude?
Was it about the Greeks? Spartans or something? I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Spartacus.
Yeah.
Spartacus, yeah. Like I love those type of shows.
That was one they changed the character up like right in the beginning, like first or second season, right?
Yeah. I
they
think
changed
so.
I remember that show. It was good. It was good, though. It was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Spartacus. And it had this chick from the Evil Dead show. That's the same chick that was in the Spartacus show. You may not, if you haven't seen the show.
I haven't seen it.
That was her. She loves being naked, so
does she?
Like, that's her.
Wait, who? Yeah. Not the main chick who was part of their trio.
No, the chick that came back from the dead that was like trying
Lucy Lawless? Xena?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's her. Maybe you don't recognize her.
I didn't see Spartacus, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
she was in Xena, yeah.
Yeah, she's actually married. I don't know if I ever mentioned this. I'm pretty sure I must have. But she's married to Robert Tappert, who is the co-creator of Evil Dead. Yep. He went to college with Sam. He was roommates with Ivan Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, and that's how they met when Sam Raimi was friends with Bruce Campbell. So she does like being naked for sure.
She does.
But I don't know.
Is great.
I think that there was another Ridley Scott movie recently where he put like for no reason like a fucking Nas track over the track. I don't remember what it was. I think maybe it was Napoleon or The Last Duel or something. But I haven't seen Napoleon. I haven't seen The Last Duel. It's been a long time since I've really seen a
Prometheus.
Alien Covenant's the last movie of his that I saw, which was dog shit. I've been open about that. The Martian is probably the last good movie that I could even.
Martian was fire.
Say he made.
I love The Martian, honestly.
But listen, we have to, as a culture, come together and say like Ridley Scott's kind of fallen off. He just has. He's very hit or miss now.
I don't know about that. I like Prometheus. A lot
of people like Prometheus.
The Martian.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Last Duel or.
Hey, listen.
But he definitely was cooking with fire in the 80s and 90s.
Yes. I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
Romulus is probably going to be good. I believe. Romulus is going to be good.
Yeah, Romulus is going to be good, you saying?
I think so.
But that's not even a thing that he has anything to do with. It's just
it is. Yeah, no, he executive producer.
Oh, he's a producer.
Yeah, but that's because he's a
producer.
That's just because of his ties to the franchise.
Google always does that when I look up.
That's okay. No, but director. he'll have input for sure. Like Nicolas Cage was an executive producer on Longlegs. Like the extent of his like creative input.
He was the one, wasn't it? Like Fede showed it to Ridley, and he said he loved it, right?
But that's out of respect. Yeah, that's out of respect. Just like fucking Rob Zombie showed his version of Halloween to John Carpenter and got laughed at. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, but he got laughed at.
Well, that's because it's John Carpenter. You got to know who you're dealing with. I saw an interview.
I think Ridley Scott would be honest about some shit if Fede brought him something. He's like, man, that's just dumb.
Maybe.
Hell no.
Speaking of John Carpenter, have you seen Rob Zombie? Like, Rob Zombie has like not a lot of favorable things to say about his experience working on Halloween. He said there was a lot of like studio like interference and
yeah, it's because it's not his IP.
And the fan base was like very like toxic to him, which I mean, like, bro, you're remaking a classic fucking movie. Not just a classic horror, but like you're making a classic movie that you completely disrespected, but okay. And then also he talked about this on Howard Stern. He's like, yeah, it's just one of the worst times of my life. I hated working on that movie, blah, blah, blah. And then he said he went to John Carpenter with the idea of it. And John Carpenter was just like, yeah, whatever, man. Do what you want. It's yours. I don't care. Like John Carpenter is he like completely doesn't give a fuck about it. I'll always love him about that. But then But John Carpenter talks about Rob Zombie like unfavorably at his little like meetups if he ever goes to like a fan thing, which is rare, but like he gets asked about it and he I don't remember what he said exactly, but he was like he said something about Rob Zombie. I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic. But anyhow, I don't know. Ridley Scott, I don't know.
Ridley Scott. Listen, I just looked it up. Ridley Scott directed American Gangster.
Yeah.
He's goated for me. That movie is so fucking good.
Marvin, he is a goated director. I bet you haven't even seen half of his classic movies, which is a sin.
I haven't.
But like he's made some of the best movies like ever made of all time, like Alien and Blade Runner and fuck it. We should make you watch Blade Runner sometime. I wonder if you would like Blade Runner.
I don't know.
I've seen G.I. Jane. I haven't seen Matchstick Men.
Did you just ask Marvin if he's seen what?
Blade Runner 2049, the newer one.
No, I haven't. Yeah, nah.
There's no way. I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. I just thought the commentary around the trailer is kind of funny because it's like all being focused on like Denzel being Denzel Washington, but in like in Roman times. I don't know. Weird.
Legend would actually be a great make Marvin watch.
With Legend?
I'm Legend?
No, Legend.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. It's one of Tom Cruise's first roles. It's actually a great movie. It's not a good movie, but it's one of my favorite movies, just because of like.
It's sci-fi.
It's not. It's no. It's kind of sci-fi. I don't know what it is. It's like this fantasy sci-fi. It's not a good movie. Let's just call it that. It's not, but it is good. It's good in a not good way. But it's got one of Tim Curry's most famous roles as the Darkness.
Darkness is.
Oh, it's so good. Great movie. Anyhow. All right. Well, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the news, Dusty? Hit us. I have a piece of news. Well, I don't know if you were going to report on it. I just read today Sharon Doherty passed away, so rest in peace to her. She's a icon of the 90s. She apparently was she was fighting cancer since like 2015 that like came and went and then spread all over the place. But I read it made me tear up a little bit because Kevin Smith like posted about her because they were good friends since she was in Mallrats, and he just said, she was obviously like an icon of the 90s because of her role in 90210. She was like one of the biggest actresses of the time. And when he pitched Mallrats, he pitched it as Clerks in a mall. And the producer was like, "Oh, you got to get Sharon Doherty. Like, she's like the perfect person to be in this movie because she's a star." And the fact that she agreed to do Mallrats, it was her first role, I think, since 90210 at the time. And like, he basically said that she's like the sole reason that Mallrats got made. So he just had a nice thing to say about her. So that's sad. She was very young, 53.
Yeah, there's a couple of deaths. Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
The Shining.
Yep.
Richard Simmons.
Wow. I heard about Richard Simmons too.
There's also somebody that almost died. That was in the news.
Yes. Richard Simmons was 76. Yeah. Wow, he died a day after his birthday. That's crazy. I don't know why that's crazy. It just is.
Damn.
How'd he die?
I think he had some medical problems he was fighting with, but I don't know the exact details.
All right. So what do you got for us? What did you pull up this week? Anything notable?
Okay, well, you're a graphic artist.
Sure.
We've talked about it before. James Gunn did officially release the official logo, Superman image, in, I guess, an attempt to celebrate the 1 year before the release of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just under 1 year away. So we got the logo. What'd you think? You like it?
No.
Where is it? I didn't see it. Did you guys post it somewhere?
He posted it on his threads. No, he doesn't post on Twitter. Let's go. Come on. He just.
I saw it on Twitter is what I should say.
Yeah. It was reposted on Twitter.
Here, Marvin, I'll post it in Discord.
I should have posted it.
Isn't it crazy that Threads died in 24 hours?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we saw this already, though, when the film got announced.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw it. Basically what it looked like on the suit.
Listen,
black logo. We've seen it.
There's been enough information that has come out about this movie now that I understand what it's about and what the premise is. Not what it's about specifically, just what the premise, what his idea for it is going into it. Because the working title was Superman Legacy. The suit has pulled inspiration from like literally multiple generations of the character. The crest is clearly inspired by what is it? God almighty, my fucking head. You know what I'm talking about. He's just pulling inspiration from a lot of different Superman stories. And
so I feel like I like the S to be more defined in the logo.
Yeah, I mean that's what everybody's kind of complaining about.
I see it like I understand. I see like the vision, but I don't know.
It's an Alex Ross.
It looks like ketchup and mustard.
Well, okay, so let's break it down just a little bit. The S, the crest is specifically inspired by Kingdom Come, is what it was. Kingdom Come is a story about an older Superman. It was done by Alex Ross. Changes the style, and it's black and red. The crest, the suit is like black, blue, and red. The yellow's gone. Okay, so that's the inspiration for that. The turtleneck and like the lines and like all like the texture that's based off of the New 52 version of Superman, which was like DC's internal reboot. Are you shaking your head? No, I'm wrong, or shaking your head because New 52 is terrible?
That's why I'm
shaking his head because he hates it.
Yeah, I hate it too. And they changed it too. I don't know if it was because of like internet backlash or what, but like if you look at the original photo that was released of him sitting there tying his shoes, the neckline seems to come up a little bit higher than what it looks like now with all these set photos coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm really not a fan of the suit. He's got the S on the back of the cape, which is inspired by the Christopher Reeve Superman costume. The colors seem to be inspired by the Christopher Reeve costume. So I just think tonally he's pulling from all generations of Superman, all iterations of it, hence the legacy of Superman. And I think the movie's just going to be a lot about what Superman means to us as a culture, both in and outside the DC universe, like in our real lives and in the thing. But yeah, I don't like the suit and I don't like the logo. I don't know. Just feels weird. I don't know. It's just different. Maybe I'll get used to it when I see it in action. The suit really, it's got me bothered. I haven't really talked too much about it, but it looks like Star-Lord's outfit in Guardians. Like it looks more like a fucking suit, like a thing you put on. It's thick, like rubbery looking, but it's like loose and has like ripples in it. Like you're looking at my shirt. Like it just, nothing about it makes sense to me. And then it's like, you know, the most iconic Superman thing is ripping off your shirt and exposing the S underneath. Like, how are you wearing this fucking big fat rubber suit underneath your like regular work clothes?
Yeah. But that's like wearing the bulletproof vest.
Yeah. It's just
like 50 Cent on the fucking stage.
Yeah. Did you guys, speaking of 50 Cent, the only thing I'll talk about, did you see the AI edited version of Trump singing Many Men? It's so fucking funny.
So good.
Many men wish death upon me. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think the movie's going to be good. I'm not a big fan of the costume, to answer your question.
Well, we'll find out in under a year. We got
hopefully the movie makes
63 days, I think.
I think we're going to see
the countdown.
I think we're going to see a teaser for it at Comic-Con soon. A teaser at least. I have to think he shot enough footage to cut a teaser. You got to.
Well, it's going to be like 15 seconds.
Bro, we just saw a teaser for season 2 of fucking Severance a year before, it's like months before it's coming out. There's no way you're telling me they're not going to release a teaser of Superman.
Like a year?
It's Superman, dude. It's the launch of the new DCU. They got to. I'm telling you.
We'll see. Okay, so yeah, speaking of, DC actually has announced an expanded presence at Comic-Con this year. They dialed back, obviously last year because of the strikes and stuff going on, and then we had the COVID stuff going on. And they were also restructuring when they brought in the two pairs to take over before they brought in James Gunn, Bonaventura. I forget their names. I'm sorry. But anyway, they were restructuring, and then COVID happened, and then the strike happened. So DC is finally back at Comic-Con. They're gonna have like a multi-level booth at Lot 4545. It's like a 3-story thing where they'll have merch and signings and talks and stuff. But they also have a bunch of panels. But all the panels that they have scheduled, are actually really just covering their shows and their comic book slates. Like there's a Penguin panel, there's a Caped Crusader panel. There's what other shows?
Sorry to interrupt you. Are they doing away with their own version of Comic-Con, like whatever that had when they did during COVID, the DC like event that they did?
The DC, I would imagine they'll still do that, but I don't know if they'll do it around. The way these companies do things.
It's weird
now. Like
everybody's got to be Apple.
Game companies. Everybody, all the game companies started abandoning E3 and just doing their own events around E3. Like why? But yeah, like I said, there's like a Jim Lee and Friends panel where he talks about the future of DC a little bit. It doesn't look like there's any specific James Gunn panel. There's a Superman and Lois panel. So there's panels about all the shows, but nothing about movies or anything that I could see on the schedule. So I don't know how they're going to cover or tease some of this stuff, but they'll be all over the place. They got a couple different rooms rented in a main booth. So
yeah,
they're back. So maybe we'll get something surprising, or maybe they'll save that for a little bit later in the year when they have their DC Fan Experience Expo or whatever the fuck it is they call it. So yeah, anywho, Comic-Con is July 25th to July 28th. So that is we're just next week, not this weekend, but next weekend after that. We'll have Comic-Con, so we'll have a bunch of new trailers and news and stuff to talk about because we don't have a lot about news to talk about today. Speaking of Cape Crusader, did you guys watch that clip?
I didn't.
Animated show. We got Batman back to the old ways of Batman.
I don't like his costume in the show, to be honest.
Yeah, the clip shows him driving the Batmobile around, and he like rams like a couple of criminals, and they go flying. He doesn't give a fuck, no regard.
I'm a little confused about this. This is made by the guy who did Batman the animated series. No. Oh
no.
So Cape Crusader is
in conjunction with Cape Crusader is Matt Reeves, and it's coming to Prime on August 1st. So yeah.
This is the Matt Reeves one.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Batman Cape Crusader. Yes, August 1st on Prime.
You're right.
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams. So what was the one?
Well, this is based off the animated series. ATS. This is based on Batman ATS.
Yes, because Bruce Timm is like part of it. He made it
TAS, yeah.
He made it in conjunction with Matt Reeves, but I thought there was supposed to be a separate one. Maybe I misunderstood. I thought there was this, which is the Matt Reeves animation, and then I thought Bruce Timm was doing one that was the spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series.
No, I'm pretty sure he's involved with this one. Like they're trying to make this they're trying to make this the spirited successor. But anyway, there's a clip released. It's just Batman driving down Gotham in the Batmobile. Pretty short.
Hamish Linklater
watch it soon enough,
is voicing Batman, which is interesting. He played the priest in Midnight Mass. He's a very good actor. Yeah. But I'm curious to hear him as the Bat.
Okay. That's really all the DC news I have, and I don't really have any Marvel news except for the Spider-Man Noir news.
Yeah.
Brendan Gleeson joining the production and reportedly to play the show's villain. This is per Variety. We still don't know anything about the villain or when this is coming out. There's no premiere date or anything. We do know it's coming to MGM Plus first, and then it will come to Prime. Nick Cage has told us it's about 8 episodes, 45 minutes per episode.
Right.
We also know that our boy Lamorne Morris cast to play as Robbie Robertson. So I don't know. Either of you guys ever watched The New Girl?
No.
But Lamorne.
No, but I have seen The New Guy.
The New Guy?
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
No. Oh, yeah. I have. You talking about,
so funny.
Talking about the skinny kid?
Yeah.
Lamorne, yeah.
That got his dick broken. It was fucking hilarious.
DJ Qualls is his name. Right? Yeah, DJ Qualls is the actor.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
He was in Road Trip. Very funny movie.
That's a classic right there.
Yeah, anywho, Lamorne Morris is also cast as Robbie Robertson. So that'll be interesting. That's like a throwback character.
What is this?
This is Spider-Man Noir.
And he's in it.
Oh, fucking gold.
The Nick Cage. Nick Cage, yeah. Yeah, Brendan Gleeson is a villain, and Lamorne Morris is Robbie Robertson, who is...
Gotcha.
This is basically, since it's a time period piece, it's going to be him struggling to be a black reporter in the 30s in Gotham. You know, he'll take the stories that nobody else will.
In Gotham?
Try and make a name for himself. Yeah, Gotham. Sorry.
Spider-Man Noir?
No, I'm sorry, New York. Yeah, I'm sorry. We were just talking DC. So,
I know.
And we were talking Batman. Yeah. Biden a moment. But
I'm
anyway,
excited for this.
This is probably the most exciting Marvel project that's on the horizon for me. But again, we don't know. And I think they actually did a 2-season order of it. But 8 episodes, 45 minutes, at least the first season. So we'll see.
Okay.
And then speaking of Nick Cage, the last piece of news, since we're going to talk about the movie, He was talking to the New Yorker, and I just thought this quote was interesting because maybe it'll change your mind about this movie. Maybe it won't. But he said, I know the phone's going to ring off the hook to play serial killers after Longlegs, and that's not really what I like to do. I don't like violence. I don't want to play people who are hurting people. So this will be the sole serial killer role ever played by Nick Cage.
Okay.
And that's all the news.
All right. Not a lot of news this week. Well, thank you for...
I told you it was pretty short.
Thank you for digging it out regardless. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of news, but we chose not to talk about it.
We don't want to talk about, attempted assassinations and stuff.
They'll make a movie about it, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, there'll be a movie about it like in 3 days. It'll be just perfectly prepared. It'll show up on like a Christian fucking network or something. Every once in a while, there's this dude on TikTok, by the way, that I get videos of, and he like talks about like these like super low budget like Christian nationalist movies. They're so fucking funny. Like just how bad the acting is and like the premises of that. Oh my God, they're so funny.
Oh, speaking of, we were talking about trailers earlier. I saw a trailer for a movie about, they were like trying to get the original pages of the Bible or something. It was like a Christian like action movie. I was like, what is this? Why are they showing this?
It's like it's like a national treasure.
National treasure.
It was like National Treasure, but for Bible pages or something. It was something with the Bible.
That's so funny.
The original Bible pages, something. I was like, what?
So funny. So anyhow, let's get into today's movie. One that I was very excited for, Longlegs.
Oh yeah, he's been shoving this one down our throats, guys.
Did it live up to the hype?
Well, and I can't.
Let's get right into it. I want to hear it.
Well, okay, so talk about hype, right? This is like one of the most hyped movies in recent memory I've ever seen, thanks to brilliant.
It's doing well at the box office, so the hype is working.
Yeah, thanks to brilliant marketing by the studio and also very strategic early screenings of the movie. The buzz, the internet is a buzz with Longlegs. They did a really interesting marketing campaign where I told you guys a little bit about it. I kind of stumbled upon it accidentally. They posted like a domain website, and it's like designed in like a very like early 2000s, like 90s message board style, like very early internet. And it's supposedly from the perspective of just like an independent, like investigator, like person who's like, oh, these murders took place and they seem connected. And it's like this person's like information that they have. And then in the bottom, there was a link with a locked file and like a cipher that you're supposed to figure out. Of course, Redditors figured it out instantaneously. And every day, every day there was a new cipher. And it's just really like photos, like crime scene photos and stuff. And it establishes like the history of the character of Longlegs, and is that he's been like committing murders from like the 60s up until the time period of this movie, which is in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Very interesting marketing. They even went so far as to post an article in like the Seattle Times newspaper. So they did. And the marketing worked.
That's
like
awesome.
It got a lot of people to the theater. But man, people are like,
but has he been committing all those murders?
Yeah. But people are really freaking out about this movie. Like I'm seeing, like Dusty and I were not joking. We were like legitimately starting to get concerned because, like some of the most outrageous like comments about this movie. This is Silence of the Lambs, but straight from the devil's asshole or some shit. Like, one of the most disturbing horror movies. An instant classic. I saw one that's a 10 out of 10 on IMDb. This is the best horror movie of the last 20 years, possibly of all time. So I'm here to ask, did it live up to the hype? Like Dusty just said, let's find out. So real quick, just briefly, I just want to talk. So this is about our character. Well, first of all, it's directed by Oz Perkins, who is the son of horror icon Anthony Perkins, who played the original Norman Bates in the original slasher movie, perhaps the original horror movie. Well, no, a little bit later than that, but Psycho. so he's got a legacy behind him, which is cool. And it stars Maika Monroe as Agent Lee Harker, Nicolas Cage as Longlegs, Blair Underwood as Agent Carter, and Alicia Witt as Ruth Harker. And the film opens up, we're introduced to, well, the film doesn't open this way, but the main plot of the story is our main character, Lee Harker. She's a detective for the FBI, and she seemingly has like some preternatural ability where she's a psychic or whatever. They're hunting down this killer, and she knows where the house that he's in. And then she's taken into the FBI headquarters and given this like test if she's a psychic. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that scene really like foreshadows a lot of the movie.
So you didn't pick it up there? Did you didn't like, oh, she's totally involved in this, or like, oh, well, maybe she just...
I just want to say spoilers going forward. So if you don't want spoilers,
get out.
We rarely, I'm only saying because we rarely talk about movies that like just came out the other day. We're going to talk spoilers. So if you don't want to hear that, come back later. From watching the trailer, from the very first time I watched the trailer, I had a feeling that she had some sort of connection to Longlegs as a child. The second the movie opened with a little girl, I knew it was her. I was just like, no, there's just no.
Yeah.
So
it was, from the get-go, it was pretty glaringly obvious that it was, she was.
Right. So a lot of the movie was kind of like, okay, that took me out of it a little bit. But yeah, so she's basically thrust into this case trying to find Longlegs, and she very quickly like puts the pieces together. The pieces of a puzzle to which...
Too quickly, in fact.
I still don't even really understand what it was. But I guess we'll get into that stuff. So let's talk about it. What did you guys think, first of all? Because I have a lot to say. I had a lot riding on this movie. This is like going to make or break like whether or not I want.
You're supposed to jump off a building or something.
I said
you're going to stop watching movies altogether, right? We're going to quit the podcast.
Jump out a window. I heard a lot of claims from Dan.
I'm not ready to stop watching movies. I did quite enjoy it. I'll say that. It of course didn't live up to the hype that was.
It was impossible.
Yeah, it was impossible.
That's correct.
But I did enjoy it a lot.
I was a little bit worried because you said in Discord, you're like, do we all see it at this point? I thought you were about to fucking go crazy.
No. I definitely enjoyed it. There were some things I didn't enjoy. There were some plot holes. We'll probably talk naturally about them.
Yeah.
I thought the first like, I won't even say half. It was like the first 75, maybe the first half. First half to 75% were like, they were like 10 out of 10 for me. Like it was pretty good. And when they started introducing the dolls and the satanic premises, that's when it really fell off for me.
Yeah.
But it was still a really good watch overall for me.
That third act really derailed the movie for me as well. But what do you got? What do you think, Dusty? How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was a good movie.
I
enjoyed it.
How was the cam? Let's just say that.
It was
fine, actually.
It was good?
Yeah, it was actually...
I actually rewatched a couple scenes today on...
Okay.
The biggest problem is the stupid pop-ups that they do. Like when it looks like they're trying to show you a scene.
It was terrible.
And you're trying to catch the scene, and then like you see
Indian slot
slots
machine
pop
heads.
up, and LeBron James' head like, "Hey guys,
bobblehead LeBron James
taking me out of it."
I saw the same one.
So, what did you think of it overall?
It had good suspense for a little bit, and then it got weird, and then you were just waiting for the answers, and you didn't really get any answers, but you kind of did get some answers. So I had some problems with it, but it was a good movie. Like I'm not gonna shit on it and say I hated it. I thought it was good. I sat down and watched it, didn't pause it, made it all the way through it, enjoyed it, but a little lackluster for all the hype, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah, I don't really get the pitch of like the most disturbing, like saturated and disquieting mood while leveraging a nightmarishly gonzo performance by Nicolas Cage. Like, yeah, like the cinematography was amazing. The score was amazing. The direction was amazing. The acting was all amazing. And it really set like a very unsettling and unnerving feeling throughout the entire movie for the most part. Like and I actually can't even explain it because really nothing's happening. It's like you don't learn anything about anybody really. It's just very, very small detail, but at the same time, the whole movie is just exposition. So that bothered me a lot. But yeah, there's still this tone of like dread, which I thought was really good. And there's not a lot of like, you don't see really much of anything that happens. Like most of the murders that this guy did or was a part of happen off camera. You just hear about them, except for like one that you get like 2 small little glimpses of the actual act. And then the only other actual, like there's 2 other death scenes in the movie, which is like Longlegs, spoilers, smashing his head on the table. And then also,
that was pretty gnarly. Yeah,
and then also her one partner being shot in the beginning, and then the other agent being shot in the end.
Ooh, yeah.
And like, so there's like this. The way the movie was filmed is like there's all this tension throughout the whole movie, and there's very small moments of like payoff for that tension. So that I thought was executed really well, but I don't really think the movie did a great job of anything else for that matter, because like story wise, it was like, it just felt it felt like a lot of like very like separate pieces of a puzzle that were just tried to put together, but like poorly.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't mean poorly.
There's a couple missing pieces.
It's not even poorly. It's just like, it was just a lot of different ideas into one movie. And honestly, the marketing, the way the studio marketed this movie is completely not what this movie is at all. I 100%. Thought we were going to get like this, just like a Seven like type of movie, Silence of the Lambs, like Zodiac, but with like more of a horror edge to it.
Right.
Where it's about this like creepy fucking serial killer who's like been doing stuff throughout history. Once I took part in the Cypher marketing thing where I was on Reddit and like looking at the it was really cool because it like you see the crime scene photos and like newspaper clippings and stuff of all the murders you hear about in the movie. And so I had like a little bit of context going in where I heard like family names and I was like, oh yeah, that was this person who's whatever. Those killings were like fucking brutal, and reading it and seeing the photos like was really interesting, but just hearing about it isn't as effective, I don't think.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of exposition. What? You thought that that worked?
I think it's pretty, I think it works just fine. You don't have to, but I'm not a huge fan of like shock and awe.
No, me neither. I don't mean that. I don't mean that at all.
So like, yeah, I mean, you get a little like, blows the cop's head off in the car, and then
no,
you get into the shooting the dolls. But
I'm not saying you need like super gore. I'm just saying like there's other movies like Seven is a great example of that. Like you don't see the murders take place, you see the aftermath, right? At each crime scene. You've seen Seven, right, Marvin?
Yeah. Actually,
yeah. So that's like a good example of what I mean. There's a movie Sinister that came out years ago with Ethan Hawke, which is a very similar premise. It's about like families getting murdered by the kids in the family ultimately, because the kids are being like manipulated by a demon, and actually very similar plot. But you see at one point you see like these home movies that the kids shoot as they're murdering their family, which is very, very creepy, and also very effective. So there's like ways to do it. I just was a little disappointed that there's a lot of being said to you in this movie. But it makes sense because you're following the perspective of a detective who's detecting, and she's trying to like connect the dots, which, as Marvin said, she detects very quickly. Like, oh yeah, no, this is like, yeah, it seems like it's an inverted triangle, and it has to do like all the daughters were born on the 14th of the month, and the families were killed either 6 days prior to or after the birthday.
Yeah.
And then now,
can we talk about the birthdays?
Yeah. Hang on, I'm getting to it, because now the movie introduces all these like plot points where I'm just like, it's starting to do the thing where I'm like, don't make me do it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have to put logic into it. And then it just continuously talks about the shit where I'm just like, okay, what's the significance of the birthdays? It doesn't make any sense. And honestly,
not only does it not make sense, but
it's completely arbitrary.
As a grown-ass woman, should know your own birthday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You should also know that all these murders are attached to birthdays, and you just talked to a little girl that's about to have a birthday.
Right. Especially if you're figuring out this satanic like rune that's being connected, and you're like, yeah, no, this is what that is. And you've got like devil books and shit in front of you, and you just instantly figured that out, but you just conveniently didn't think about like, hey, my birthday's on the 14th, and so is this little girl. Like, that's fucking weird.
I hated that.
I was thinking it through the whole movie. I was like, when is she going to realize this? Dusty, I'm surprised you're not complaining about that, because that's a good Dusty gripe.
That's
a classic Dusty gripe.
So with her, I'm not so sure, because the way that they talk it off is that the girl was in a catatonic state forever, and then all of a sudden, she came to, and then somebody came and talked to her. Well, we don't know if he came and talked to her, then she came to her, she came to, and then he came and talked to her.
She doesn't know.
But we do know that she was allowed. I mean, you don't really know. You kind of know, like something happened to her. She kind of remembers stuff, but doesn't really remember anything.
The mother says it.
Yeah.
When she shoots the doll, she goes, "Now you're free, and you're going to remember." It's the doll. However, whatever the mechanics of these dolls makes it so that she doesn't remember anything.
Some harmonic frequency that causes the kids to do whatever, and the parents to go crazy. Yeah.
So. So this is where it started out to break.
Nick Cage sings to the balls, and then the balls talk to the people, and the people go crazy.
He was able to put dimples in the balls so minute and specific that he was able to channel the devil's frequency, is what I took from it. And no, I'm not being funny. Like, that's, I think, what they were trying to like showcase.
It was the frequency.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, so for whatever reason, it allowed her to not remember. And probably, I think they hinted at also give her these like psychic abilities or whatever.
Right.
But the explanation stops there. It's like they like give you all this shit, and then it's like, nah, we're not even gonna. You don't need to know more about that. And then it's like every single one, I was like, I need to know more about this. Like, why? It's the whole plot of the movie.
Please, yes.
I guess.
So why didn't she free the girl at the end?
Well, I was left with the idea that like the gun wasn't working, representing the devil's power over the world.
So I have a theory on that, if I could say it.
Yeah, say it.
Yeah.
My theory, which could be completely wrong, but let me cook here.
There's no right answer, I'm going to tell you that, because I read an interview with the director.
So, you remember we watched Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he thought he was killing someone, and he was actually killing the girl.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was killing something else, and he ended up killing the girl.
I see.
So what I took from that was, they didn't show it, but when she was firing those, we saw was actually empty. I think she was actually killing the little girl, and the doll was what was standing behind her.
It's possible.
I don't know how I felt about that scene. That's one way I did have a gripe, because you hear like the click, like she's pulling the trigger. The cylinder of the firearm is not moving.
That's the most Dusty. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. So that's why I actually agree with you on this part, but it's not a gripe. That's why I actually think what I think. Because first of all, it's a 6-shooter. She fired 1 shot to kill her mother. Then she killed. How many shots did she put in? 2 to her partner. So it leaves you with 3 shots, and then her gun's clicking, and the cylinder's not turning. And they specifically zoom in on it to show you it's not turning. So I took it as just, this is the devil like controlling the situation.
Yeah,
and
that
also
probably makes more sense.
You see that black figure a couple times pop up.
I don't know.
Very ambiguously. So I think that's just like the devil's presence. Like he was in the car in the beginning when he pulls up.
Mm-hmm.
She sees as she's approaching the car. Like that, the devil's always there.
Behind the mom.
The man downstairs.
Yeah.
In the house. Yeah.
So again, the movie this is where the movie fucking flies off the rails. Again, spoiler. Turns out Nicolas Cage's character, Longlegs, he's this really creepy looking, very well made up, very well acted, creepy fucking serial killer obsessed with like 70s rock music, notably T-Rex. And he, I guess, fucking targets kids who were about to turn 9 years old, who were born on the 14th of any month. Mm-hmm. And he's a doll maker, and he makes these dolls that are like very accurate to these children. Yeah. And he implants this a metal ball that apparently can channel some sort of frequency that puts the entire family under a trance and causes the father of the family to kill everyone in the family, including himself. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why that had to be in the movie. It really honestly ruined the movie for me.
It did, because it's like you said, it took it away from everything we assumed the movie was about based on the marketing and the web page.
Aside from that, like, are we just, can we get over like the devil already? Like, enough. This fucking guy, the devil or woman, has been like the target of like such arbitrary fucking plot points for so long now. It's like, oh, the devil did it. The devil made me do it. The devil, it's the devil, it's the devil.
Well, yeah, but he's not even, is he a serial killer? He's just a doll maker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so it completely invalidated the marketing. It invalidated the title of the movie.
That's my problem.
It invalidated Nicolas Cage as a character.
Because the mom
doing the dirty work.
Made the deal with, made the deal with the devil. Yeah, the doll maker is just literally just making dolls. Like, he's not.
Real quick.
He was not the serial killer.
Real quick. I wish I had saved it. I saw a really descriptive post about why he was called Longlegs. And
I don't think there was a reason.
That. Well, someone had a theory of why.
What was it?
They said he was supposed to be Baal, which is like a demon or whatever, demons, whatever.
Yeah.
And Baal is often visualized or whatever as like kind of like a spider figure or having long legs.
Yeah.
And they're saying that's Nicolas Cage in this.
Okay.
Long legs.
That's fair. I did read an interview with Oz Perkins, and that kind of smashes that. So it explains a lot of stuff, but it also explains my frustration. So Oz Perkins grew up in a household where his parents kept fundamental information from him and his brother. His dad, Anthony Perkins, was a closeted gay man. And he didn't...
Deeply closeted?
Deeply closeted. Yeah, I don't think it came out until...
That's a Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't think that came out until he was... I actually don't even know when it came out, but obviously being gay back then is different than it is now, especially in the limelight, being a celebrity like Anthony Perkins was. So, Oz Perkins wanted to translate that feeling to a movie, which is like your parents keeping stuff from you and you don't really ever know. It's actually referred to as defamiliarization. So the movie is not about a serial killer or murders or any of that. Oz Perkins says it in this interview. The movie is really about Lee, our main character, discovering that her mother has this like horrible secret.
Right. Like trauma. Yeah. Like she blacked it out basically though. She knew.
Well, she didn't black it out. It's revealed that it's the power of the doll that's over her when she shoots it and the black fucking weird smoke comes out of both their heads.
She starts remembering.
It's not explained at all, but you get the sense that somehow the doll takes over the child. And we also get that we hear the 911 call at one point in the movie from one of the other families where the dad's like, this isn't my daughter. This isn't my daughter. This isn't my daughter. Which also makes no fucking sense, because if the doll is taking over the father and making him kill everybody, what's the point of the daughter being weird? It's just, like I said, it's just a mishmash of things that just don't really make a lot of sense when you think about them more than 2 seconds. And that bothers me because you can't expect your audience to like just not question anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you craft the movie in such a way. I brought it up to my friend. There's 2 movies that come to mind, which I talk about often, that do this effectively. Halloween and It Follows. Those 2 films give you no information other than what you need. Halloween is Michael Myers killed his sister as a kid. He's fucked up. Now he broke out. He got a mask at a Halloween store, and now he's after these babysitters. That's all you need to know. And throughout the course of the film, you get the sense of like, he's a little bit more than meets the eye. It Follows. You don't get any information other than it's this entity. It follows you. You can only pass it on by having sex. That's it. That's all you know. Okay?
Right.
And I say this often. If you're going to go the ambiguous route, go the ambiguous route and just give us a little bit of context. That's all we need to understand what's happening. And that's it. If you're going to explain stuff, explain stuff.
Yeah.
This movie tried.
You make it more convoluted.
Right.
Like at the end where they're sitting there and he's like, would you like to come to me to the kitchen? And then she's like, we'll be right back. And he's like, no, I'll be right back. You'll be in the kitchen.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I didn't
it would made me think like the harmonic frequencies of the ball is playing with your head. So that kind of maybe explains away some of the weirdness, but it doesn't entirely.
Well,
so
but
I get your complaint.
Well, so you just sorry, Marvin, but you just perfectly described what I mean, right? Because first of all, I just want side note. Every night since July 4th at exactly 12:35 a.m., one single firework goes off in the distance. I don't know what's going on.
Shout out to that guy.
But it's fucking annoying.
I think my thing froze, by the way.
Some kid that got 100 pack and he's shooting off one a night for the next year.
Marvin's just forever thinking.
It's just froze. I don't understand what's happening. I can't even
hang on. Is it you or me? Is it my end or your end?
It's me. No, it's me.
Should I refresh the source?
No,
I got to screenshot that for that's gonna go into the thumbnail. There he is. He's back. Hey, you gave a good thumbnail pose, Marvin. That's it.
Nice.
All right, so back on track. Dusty explained it perfectly. So it's like, based on the phone call, that 911 call, the dad saying, that's not my daughter, that's not my daughter. That combined with the fact that the dolls have the likeness of the daughters, or the children, you would think like, oh, well, somehow this doll is like taking over the child or something. But that gets immediately fucking shit on later on when you realize that no, the ball is putting the dad in the trance and the dad's killing everybody. It puts everybody under a trance.
But the mom was in a trance too.
What I'm saying.
It felt like everybody.
No,
yeah,
she was. Everybody
was.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I just don't truly understand.
Even it seems like Lee was getting, because why wouldn't she attempt to stop him from killing the wife before that happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So there's just like a lot of premises that feel like never actually cohesively came together. But I just want to talk about going back real quick. Sorry, Marvin, because I was on the topic of what Oz Perkins said, and he says specifically, this is the answer for all of it. And I think this is actually, say what you're going to say first.
Well, I just found the quote or the comment that I was talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to read it to see what you guys think.
Yeah.
But we don't have to. What do you think?
No, go ahead. How long is it?
Okay. It's not that long.
Yeah.
I'll just read the first paragraph. It's multiple paragraphs, actually.
Oh, a second firework went off. Sorry, go ahead.
So let's start with who/what Longlegs is. Baal, the demon that once ruled hell, is described as having an ashen look or carrying ash and having a hoarse, peculiar voice. Of note was that his form was inconsistent, having different faces, different heads, but he is depicted as having the body, legs of a spider. In some interpretations, people would sacrifice children to him. He granted wisdom, control over men, powers such as invisibility. Baal eventually gave up the throne in hell to Satan, taking on the role of prince. It's unclear if he bowed willingly or put up a fight, but he became Satan's subject. So while Baal has some independence, he would not have the power to harm anything created or protected by Satan. One way to look at this is that Lee's relationship to Satan predates her meeting Longlegs by way of her mother, why the mother always pushed her to pray, though Lee can't do it because it scared her. Possessed people or those under demonic influence supposedly cannot recite prayers. So while Longlegs may have wanted Lee's family in his ritual, he couldn't take her. Notable that he certainly couldn't possess the father. Instead, Longlegs force-tricked Lee's mother to take part in his plans, a bargain with the demon on top of a bargain with the devil.
That's an interesting premise, actually. Pretty interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's more to it. I'll put it in the chat for later if you want to read it.
It really bothers me when filmmakers like put stuff in the film that like they there's ambiguity that's strategic and like leaving it up to the viewer. And then there's ambiguity and leaving it up to the viewer in a disrespectful manner where it's like, yeah, you just figure it out for yourself. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't honestly think Oz Perkins put that much thought into it, to be perfectly honest, because he says here, first of all, he talks about Longlegs and how he came up with the character. He said the character of Longlegs was always like in his head, but he didn't know who Longlegs was supposed to be. He liked the name. He didn't know if it was meant to be like a clown at a birthday party or like a magician or anything like that. And clearly you could see there's elements of like everything in the character. But he says here, Longlegs becomes just a story about, well, what if there's a mom who has this huge thing that she can't tell her kid? And what's that like in the most kind of Baroque horror movie version? So what ends up happening in the picture is that it starts off as a serial killer procedural, but that's like a magic trick. It's like, look at my left hand. That's not what it is. I don't give a fuck about triangles and numbers and dates and clues and shit. And that's fine. And it's helpful. It's super useful to engage an audience so that they're with you. It's so important to do that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of about you, you know? Ruth Harker, the mom, she kind of makes a tough choice, you know? Either this is going to happen or this is going to happen. And she chooses protecting her kid. Is that wrong? Of course it's not wrong, because kind of any of us would do it. You're given that, I guess a bunch of people are going to die, but my daughter's not going to die. It's kind of elemental, right? It's kind of primal. And so this is just the most aggravated Omen-esque version of that. So like, he was clearly inspired to make this story. Like, that's the story he was telling, is about the mom keeping something from the daughter uncovering it. Everything else around it kind of really doesn't matter to him. And so I think you could watch the movie again or think back on it, and it feels that way because none of those things were fleshed out. It's like, oh, he's forming a triangle and it's a rune and it's this and it's devil worship and oh, we got dolls and the doll's got a ball in the head and we don't know. What's the point of really exploring all that if you're not going to even attempt to answer it? Right. I was talking to my buddy about it and he was like, well, it doesn't really need explanation. It's just enough to like tell the audience what's going on. I was like, no, it's actually not, because it sets up an entirely different movie that requires at least some sort of satisfactory explanation. And you don't get that. And then you get like this exposition dump by the mother, which is just like, oh yeah, I made a deal with him to not kill you. And I work for him now and I deliver the dolls. And you're just left with like, well, what's the point of even the dolls?
Yeah.
Just to like,
I had a problem with their exposition dump too, because by that point we already have that. We already know all this stuff basically. Yeah. So what you're saying is not even news to us. So why even put that in? Right.
So you say like, so you're just, I don't know. I was left with a lot of questions that I really wanted to not have, because I it distracts from what is really a good movie. It's shot, like I said, it's shot well. Like everything about it is very good. And it genuinely was creepy. It's not scary, but it's like, it's unsettling. There is an unsettling tone to the movie. And I don't know. I don't know. All that stuff, the Satan worship and like Hail Satan, rock and roll. Like it was just like cartoonish to me.
That made me cringe. Like you actually said Hail Satan.
I think it was
like,
meant.
That was fucking cringe.
I think it was meant to be like goofy because it's Nicolas Cage and like that's his shtick.
Yeah.
It was very clear Nicolas Cage got the call for this movie, read the script, and was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And then Oz Perkins was like, just be you. Like, be what everybody thinks you are. Like that fucking, like, cartoonish version of yourself. Just do it with the scary makeup on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Dusty, while we're ranting and raving about all this?
It sounds like you're disappointed in this movie, Dan.
I'm disappointed. Yes, I liked it though, which is weird to feel, but
well, that's because you were hyping it up to be like an 11 out of 10, and
I was more hyping it up to be something that it ended up not being. I do think that the
marketing misled us. Like
very misleading.
That's all it is.
The flip was really out of like, I knew that he was like a Satanist from the marketing with the runes and like all that stuff. And that's totally fine. You could be a Satanist and like be a serial killer, and like there could be some interesting supernatural elements to that. I just don't like these supernatural elements. I think
it doesn't have to be supernatural. Yeah, you could think it
doesn't. Yeah,
you're being influenced by whatever and do all these horrible things. I think they should have went with I would rather it be unexplained how he got in and all that versus them trying to explain it with the supernatural.
Well, but it's not even an explanation. Is really the frustration. They give you things that don't make sense unless you're given answers, and it's like, why dolls? Number one, oh, okay, he's a doll maker. Cool. It's a vehicle to like put this metal ball like in the house. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
a doll, whatever. Why does the doll look exactly like the children? Who knows? He's very skilled. Okay, cool. How does he fucking get all the information on these families and why? Like, what's the significance of the birthdays? And it's like, it's all just like, there's just nothing. There's no explanation to it whatsoever. And as his quote says, there's not meant to be. And I think that's a cop-out, honestly. I think that's like, not respectful to the audience. Because you decided to
put all thinking you're making a great piece of art that everybody's going to talk about forever. And then you could just...
He did make a great
sprinkle some Salt Bay on it and be like, yeah, everybody loved it.
Yeah, I think he did make a great piece of art, but like I don't think for the reasons that like it has nothing to do with the story whatsoever for me. It's just all about the filmmaking part of it. The writing part of it, I could take it or leave it. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
No, that is a slap
in the face. You can't put all these fucking little breadcrumbs of all this shit, not flesh it out, and then try to simplify it and say it wasn't even about that in the first place. Like, that's just... Yeah, that's no good.
That's no good.
Yeah. I will watch this movie one more time in HD. Just to see, like, if I missed anything or if it's better the second time around. But once I watch it again, I will probably never watch it again. Like, and then this is not one like, oh my God, I feel like I could watch this 6 times. I could watch this once every year. It was so good. Like, there was some hype. Like I thought we were getting a movie that was like, you know, the Halloween movie that you can always go back to. That's just so good, and it just wasn't that.
Yeah,
and I thought we were going. I did actually want to watch it again after I watched it last night. But after talking about it, I don't think there's a need to watch it again.
The thing that I was talking about, by the way, in the beginning, where she's getting the psychic flashes or whatever, they were doing the flashcard thing, and she's like activating the Winter Soldier. At one point, they flash pictures of a triangle, and she says father, and before that, her answer was mother. So it's like foreshadowing that, like, Longlegs was living in her house for 20 years. So he clearly was acting as some sort of father figure to her. Again, something they don't explore. You just know that the mother was working for him. Well, the man downstairs was the devil, I think. I thought. Maybe you're right. It was him. I don't know. See,
I think you guys should read this post. I'm telling you.
I will, but I don't. But that's like somebody just who's familiar with like fucking religious lore, like inputting it on there. I don't think that Oz Perkins put that much effort into crafting that.
No.
So that's my problem. And again, you could have a movie like It Follows where it's 100% ambiguous. You know what you know, and that's the end of it, and it doesn't change anything. It just serves a better purpose. This was like they give you stuff and don't explain it. So don't give it to me if you're not going to explain it, because it doesn't add anything. It only takes away by the end of it. So really that was my main gripe with it, which is a pretty big gripe. I mean, I just didn't like the story. It just like, why did the fucking girl in the hospital, why was she comatose for fucking however long? And then when they find the doll, she just wakes up and is a psycho. Like, none of it really just made any sense to me at all. And that's the problem, is like the stuff that they give you just makes no sense. Mm-hmm. And it's disrespectful to just be like, to expect me to just to make the explanation of like, well, it's the devil and he's mysterious. Like, you know,
the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. So
it was
Hail Satan.
I agree with Hail Satan, but like, you know, and then, you know, also it's like, I saw somebody else being like, well, you know, there is no explanation because this is just Satan's, like, you know, Satan's just like being in every movie that explores like the devil. He never does anything on like a broad, like global scale. It's always like fucking with like small groups of people to just be like, hey,
he's trying to escape Hail and become, you know, a human form, or somebody, he's just fucking with people. Like, he never has some grand scheme.
I don't know. Last thing.
I think that goes to like the Bible thing where God wouldn't allow him to do it at a global level in that way. So it's like he has to do it on like a build up his army.
Yeah,
that type of thing.
Yeah, let's talk about Nicolas Cage because he was like the main draw. Oh, Nicolas Cage is going to be a serial killer. Let's fucking go. Honestly, very anticlimactic, his character. Barely in the movie. Effective when he's in it. He's creepy and alluring and you want to know more about him. But he's, I think, underutilized, to be honest. Like that beginning, the intro is very creepy when he's like in her face.
Super.
He's creepy when he's in the movie. He's creepy when he's in like the pharmacy. He's creepy when he's driving in the car. But again, what was the purpose?
When he was singing and like hitting those notes and then it like did the screeching, that was crazy.
Yeah. But again, what's the purpose of his character? Because I don't know. What's his motivation? What's his end goal? Why is he like? Do you know what I'm talking about?
He's
like
the devil's doll maker. He's gonna go find girls who are born on the 14th.
Yeah, he's got to go put together this unexplained fucking rune or whatever the fuck. Like it's like so. He's just in creepy makeup, but there's like no explanation to him whatsoever. And again, I don't need one, but when there's nothing else, like this was two different movies. This was just two separate movies that never really.
It really was
met together
completely. Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
I loved the first 2/3 of this movie with like the procedural, her investigating. I thought, she figured everything out in like a comical way, but it was explained in the fact that she's like sort of clairvoyant. Okay, fine. She has a little connection to the killer. Obvious, cool. Explore that. Very cool, very creepy stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like part 3 hits and it's like, really, man? Like this is where we're going with this? And then they give like again, they give you so much information and never go anywhere with it that even him, I was like, well, who the fuck is like what's he doing? Why is he doing this? What's the point of this? You don't know. And also we don't see him do anything. He does nothing. Yeah. Nothing. We don't see anything happen in this movie. We don't see anything happen in this movie. So
and her mom shows up with him because she looks like a nun lady from the church.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of it. I was definitely underwhelmed by the movie. The hype for sure ruined the movie. But the movie ruined the movie too, because I don't really think the stuff they explored was really written that well. But like visually, again, stunning movie, acting great, the sound design was great, everything about it was good except for the writing, really, the story.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, I think was great. I think he was great and underutilized. At anticlimactic. Blair Underwood was great. Her mother was great.
Maika's a fucking star.
Yeah, I think she's awesome. She's taking on this indie horror scream queen type of chick, but I think
that's a great lane for her. She's good.
She could be in bigger movies. I think she was great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Any last things you guys want to touch on, or?
Well, we almost made it to 100 episodes. Now Dan's quitting movies.
No, it's not going to make me quit movies. I definitely enjoyed it. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
we'll have to describe the movies to Dan, and that's how we review them.
Yeah, I would have much preferred something more in line with. That's the thing. This isn't the movie I wanted it to be, and I was what I was hoping it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a 7, a Silence of the Lambs, something like that along those lines, Zodiac, but with more of a horror edge. And those are all creepy movies. They are. Right. But they never really go in. They're psychological thrillers. They don't go into horror territory. I was hoping this was going to be a psychological thriller that does go into horror territory, and it was for a large majority of the movie. But that whole Satan worship fucking arbitrary thing really just ruined it for me.
Same.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's it, I guess. It's a strange. Well, whatever. The movie has a 7.4 on IMDb. What would you guys rate it?
It's a 7.
7. Yep.
7 for both of you.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, that first 2/3 was like a solid 10.
Better than average, but nothing to stand out about.
Yeah. It's a strange feeling for me to, in a single breath, say that I enjoyed the movie, but that I wish it was something else. But yeah, I would give it a solid 7, I think. It's definitely above average compared to other modern horror movies. It's definitely it feels part of that new wave of like elevated horror, like It Follows, like Hereditary.
That's true.
But yeah, I think it was
I don't know. It was suspenseful, but it wasn't really scary.
Not at all. But none of those movies are. None of those movies are.
Some of them can give you a better sense of like tension and uneasiness than others, and this one was suspenseful, but it didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't have like any super uneasy feelings, like ugh, like sometimes you get that in a horror movie. I didn't feel it at all in this one.
I did whenever Nicolas Cage was on screen, but that's why I think he was underutilized, is because it's set up as he's like, oh wow, he's fucking scary, like he's fucking creep and a lunatic, but like you never see him do anything.
Guy on the other end of the phone.
You see him go to get groceries, and like that's the end of it, and he smashes his head on a table. So like, I don't know. A lot of this movie was like you just hearing stuff and learn, like you don't see anything happen, which could be scary. I don't know. There's that thing we talk about with Halloween, theater of the mind. Like you don't need to see Michael Myers fucking hack somebody up because you know what's happening off screen. And I do prefer that in terms of scariness, but like, I don't know, this just didn't execute it that well because all the stuff we talked about for me. But yeah, Longlegs, a lesson in go into movies with fucking, what's the expression?
Humility?
No, something expectations.
Low expectations?
Not low expectations, no. Just tempered expectations. There you go. A lesson in why you need to go into films with tempered expectations, because marketing is a hell of a drug.
Great marketing.
But yeah, I'm glad the movie's doing well. I mean, I think Oz Perkins is a great writer, great filmmaker, and everybody in the movie was great. So I'd like to see more stuff from him. His other movies are really good, by the way. If you haven't seen some of his other stuff, they are good. The Black Coat's Daughter, not rated good, but I think it's good. I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, also decent movie. So I don't know. We'll see some stuff from him in the future, and he's definitely somebody I'd like to check out going forward. Cool. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. There's our thoughts on Longlegs. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Any theories that you have that are different from ours? I don't really know what to theorize about because they're really just not a lot to theorize on. I think the thing Marvin's talking about, that's like a hell of a stretch.
That was my only theory.
No, I mean, listen. Your theory was good. I'm talking about the guy you shared talking about like ball and shit. Like that's crazy. Your theory
I think his was great. You should read that. I put it in our chat.
No, it's great.
More to it. That was just the first paragraph.
No, it's great and creative, but the problem is that's like definitely not it, you know?
Yeah.
When it could have been.
It's too advanced. So, it could have been. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know, folks, what theories you might have. I, again, thought the thing at the end, just the gun not working, is like, haha, devil wins, LOL. Get fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, leave a like on the video. It helps us out a lot. Consider subscribing if you have not done so already. Yeah. We're on multiple platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Take your pick. And we do this once a week, most of the time.
Yeah. Speaking of movies that aren't what you think they are, next week we discuss Civil War.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Is that another movie that is marketed sneakily?
A little bit.
Okay, yeah. So join us next week, folks, for Civil War. I'm sure that one will have a lot of good comments.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening or watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Hasta.